So, I've been talking about these Paulus, and no, I don't mean Christian Paulus, I mean Ron Paulus. And it's funny how much there's an overlap between conspiracy theories. Now, I'm a big fan of conspiracy theory. I believe that we won't know the real conspiracies that are going on. It's good for us to theorize about the kind of things they might be. And if you base that on the kind of shit they pulled in the past, believe me, you come up with some pretty big schemes, because they pulled some pretty big schemes in the past. I mean, Iran-Contra was more than I was prepared for. Now, I knew, and I was aware of history, and I was still like, no way, those guys selling on to Wahut for power and huh? I was surprised. These are big things. Then after they come out, they're just like, oh, well, that's the thing, and we can still have a controversy. There's no controversy. It's fucking amazing, man. So what bugs me about your typical conspiracy theorist, though, and it seems to be all randed up with this Ronnie Pauly phenomena we're having here in the U.S. The problem with the conspiracy theorists, these typical ones, Stizer, I may be talking to you, I don't know what's your 9/11 deal there. But it's not that they don't have the right to theorize it or any of that, and not that some of those might not be true. Like my 9/11 thing is, I don't think they planned it to happen, but we know for a fact that Bush was warned about it in August. So, sometimes politicians have been known to let their enemies strike. Ooh, how about that as a realistic idea? So it's not that I don't endorse that. What I dislike is how little most of you have learned about the well-known, documented conspiracies. These series and series and series of things, the government doing, releasing flu into the air in the Bay Area in the 70s, just to see the reports, the effect on reports of people coming in for flu. And that's just to protect us, so they know how the germ warfare would work. It's a mild thing. Yeah, I don't know. That's not really okay. Giving people acid in the military to test on them without telling them. Just it's on and on and on and on. Now, another thing, though, I don't like about the conspiracy theorists is that there's this important idea that this crazy libertarian anti-tax dude online gave me like 25 years ago called NSPIC, and that is the neurosemantic political illusion complex, which is this idea that people think there is a government. They give identity to the government. There really isn't a single government. I point this similar things out to people all the time. They say government has a monopoly on laws. It's like, well, which government do you mean? The federal, the state, the county, the city? Which one which is the only one? And basically that breaks down further that the political illusion complex is that this guy was very anti-government, mind you, and his theory was that the way you deal with this behemoth, and he's much more adversarial to it than I, but is to realize that it's thousands and thousands of people, and some bureaucrat has control. He has a fleet of cars, or he's got some infrastructure that you call the government that he has some discretion to use. Maybe they're federal agents, maybe they're this, maybe they're that, maybe they're the other. They don't all think alike. Different departments of the FBI don't have the same agenda sometimes on a particular subject, for example. And I find these conspiracy theorists really buy into the government as one thing. So if Ollie North and the Reagans do something, basically, as far as they're concerned, that counts against Obama. He's just the same. No, Obama has his own things, and his own cohorts do different kinds of things. There's details to be found out, and I think a lot of times these conspiracy theorists, they just want to munge everything together. And as somebody that's been more or less politically aware about the horrors of geopolitics my whole life, I don't really take kindly to the condescension where they put up theories I first heard when I was 11 as if they're so compelling, I must just not have heard them before, and this kind of thing. You know, it's just the naivete. On the other hand, I like seeing that because it's better than a total apathy. People who are starting to care, they're borrowing too much from other people's analysis. But at least they're starting. They're spreading their wings on it. Hopefully, that's the optimistic view. Where the reality just looks like people are being willfully misinformed on purpose.